You're good? Okay. And then the last section is our program. And we decided just to put the whole thing in here so anyone who wanted to look at it here or at the state, this gets, once the board approves it, this gets shared with state ed as well, and they have it. Um, so I was just going to, if it's okay with everyone, say if there's any specific questions, and Mike would be so kind to jump anywhere if you have any. I would just again emphasize this was definitely a group effort. As you know, I came in November and discussions had already started, and I know from November until the end of the year it was very, very collaborative, and it's a good committee. People are very comfortable sharing, and I think personally it led to a really good plan being compiled. So. But I'm glad to answer any questions.
And by designing this plan, it allows us to plan ahead. So we knew what our plan was last spring, so that way we could reach out to people that we wanted to present or do workshops. If you're doing it last minute, it doesn't work, right? So the nice thing about it is all of our PD is planned throughout the year. That way we can be organized and have a really focused approach to professional development.
And Andrew, I'll just say too, a direction Andrew gave us that I really appreciate is some districts will put out like a 3 or 4 year plan. We didn't, and I know, and I fully agree with Andrew. I think this is great leadership on his part that we do the yearly, because how much change, right? We say all the time how rapidly things are changing. So having it may be a little more work on the front end, but I think we're going to have a better plan each year because we're reviewing it and changing it each year. So just to share that too.
Yeah, I wanted to say what in tandem with what you said, I've been in too many places where we have a PD month coming up, and what are we going to do? Let's ask the team leaders and department chairs, what do you want to do? There's never any cohesiveness about it, and it doesn't produce results. And you're taking a whole day and you're focused on it. So the year plan makes a lot of sense.
And Mike, if you don't mind scrolling to page, it'll be page 9.
It says November 4th at the top.
Okay.
And this, Linda, this is a great example of what you just said. That and what Andrew was saying, this was a group effort to have things already out there, and we're still asking our teacher leader for professional development still put out a survey and said, could any of these things change or be altered? Sure, but these are the things people are weighing in on a Google form that we sent out across the district. Did we miss anything? Did something come up? And like Andrew said, we're going to hear about the pathways and graduation requirements, and who knows what could change, and we might need unforeseen professional learning on. So, but it was really good, and this is database. We're using student test scores, but APPR information, which is all in here too and explained. But this wasn't just a list of, hey, what does everybody want? This was, what would you like, but what do we need? What do we really need to improve? And that drove the discussions.
I was wondering, in looking at the statistics from last year, the students with disabilities, did that number include 504 students, or is it just IEP-driven students? Yeah, I was looking, we're standing at about 22%, so I was wondering. 22%, yeah. It's not unusual right now, but it's high.
Where was that one?
Right there.
Linda?
Yep.
Is that just right off the report card? Is that what that is?
Yeah.
Yeah,
No, just students with disabilities. Yeah.
just the students with disabilities. Okay.
A couple questions. I see 9 really well-aligned opportunities here in the workshops that are repeated 3 times, so that you really give people an opportunity to hit a few of them. it's great how well aligned they are with goals this year. That doesn't always happen. So that's really an achievement, I think, in getting buy-in on that. I'm curious how many of these are enabled by in-house versus we're bringing people in.
The majority in-house. We are we are going to have 2 keynote speakers from outside. Some of our presenters are from outside, like from iReady, from Right Path, the new data.
So some of the vendors are bringing people in.
Yes, yes, yeah. As part of that, it was part of what we already purchased, so at no cost to the district.
But it's all focused around the goals.
Yeah, I noticed.
Yeah.
That's great.
Yeah,
And
no, that's how you have to do it. You know, it has to all make sense. It has to all come together.
we don't always win that in the PD plan, so that was great. I don't remember. Did we do Questar last year? Is that what? Have we always done the Questar Regional PD Day?
I don't know about always, but we did. I believe.
Lately?
Yep, definitely
just-
last year.
just the
And
last-
I want
I
to say
don't-
the year before.
Just the last couple of years.
So we don't have to do that. It depends on, and we're not committed to it right now. We want to see what the offering is before we commit to it.
Well, so that was going to be my question.
depends on what they offer.
Whether you go ahead with it or you don't go ahead with it, I would love to see how well aligned it is
Yeah.
when, if you could just, even if it's just via email when you get it.
Yeah.
Because that's the thing I'm interested in. Is that in person or remote?
It's a combination.
Okay. Wait, so like people could choose or?
Yeah, there's so they have like the music teachers all go together, PE teachers all go together. They'll do a science teacher one. It just depends upon what your content is and what you sign up for.
Oh, okay.
So it's a hybrid approach. They're looking to do more in person this year. Back before COVID, it was completely in person.
In Rensselaer?
Do
Is that where they do them now?
you remember where?
But now the in-person are all over different
Like
places.
we
It's just
we
distributed.
hosted. Who did we host last year? We hosted
School librarians.
librarians. Yeah. So it depends.
Well,
I think one year they did it at East Greenbush. Or
cheers
something.
on the goal alignment win there.
Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay. Thanks, everyone.
Mike, you ready?
Quick report tonight. Reiterate what Andrew said. It's been extremely challenging, this project. I'm here every day in the morning and then the afternoon checking on what's getting done. Andrew and I are doing everything possible. We're looking at all avenues to get this done. I thought we'd be done by now. The new foreman I spoke with quite a bit yesterday, and I do feel like he's giving more realistic guidelines when they're going to finish. So I feel a little better about that instead of these promises that I just kind of know aren't going to be met. So hopefully soon. I do want to apologize to the staff and the students. Obviously, they have to do with this. It's going to be great in the end. The art rooms, the technology room really are starting to look wonderful. But obviously the science is a challenge. So I want to apologize to them for that. And we will do everything possible I've been to every homecoming, since I've been here, and it's a big deal. And take a lot of pride in it. A lot of people come out. So really, to get that gym, we really need that gym for that. So we're gonna make sure that happens. Other than that, I do want to thank the facilities. Ethan's done he just started. He's done a great job. He's learning a lot. He's been helping out, but we got a big shipment of for the 6 interior rooms for the bookshelves. So they put those together and, he tackled that project, got the guys in. They came in after hours. So that was done in maybe 3 nights. So they got all of those in for the teachers. They're wonderful. I think each room has about 6, 7 bookshelves, all brand new furniture, and it was wonderful. So that project went well. One other positive note, the school, we ordered a championship sign. We had to put it on hold. We have it here in the garage. And now that the girls, the great news, they won the softball championship. So I'm going to have someone come out next week to put that on the sign. And then we're going to look to install that soon. It'll go in front of the high school. We talked with JB, we're going to put it right in front, but we're going to get that up soon too. So that's some positive news. Fields, last thing I will say, we are watering the fields. This is the worst drought I've seen in my 20 years in a district. In both districts, I've never seen this. So I'm paying someone to come in after hours, in between practices. Sometimes we get it during the day. So we actually are doing that. Football field, believe it or not, is much better than it was in the summer when it was totally burned out. So we're doing everything possible with that. And I talked with Ethan, maybe we can figure out some other ways to water, maybe just instead of moving that big sprinkler on, it's great, but just to be able to hit more of the, fields. But so we are doing everything. I'm just praying for some rain. It looks like the next couple of days, we're hoping that'll make a big difference, but it has been very challenging with the fields. And Ethan is he's fertilizing and putting seed down, and we are going to do everything we're supposed to do. You can see the crabgrass. It does look like that's dying off. So hopefully, like he said, it'll be next season, in the spring and next year. So we are working on that. Just want everyone to know that. So last thing on the audit, I want to thank Pat Giuliano, our treasurer. We got everything to the state. Then the state edits, and any edits we have to answer, any questions why there were variances. So we did all that work. So that's all clean and certified. We're meeting with the audit committee next week, and then we will present the audit in the next meeting. So that's what I have for tonight.
Very good. Thanks, Mike. Policy.
Well, Policy Committee did meet today. This was really an organizational meeting that we had just to figure out, what we were going to accomplish this year. It's going to be significantly less work than it was last year now that we have all of our policies, the complete compliance audit over. But we did have some fresh updates. So NISBA gives us quarterly updates to policies, and there was one in July. So now we're tackling that one. We ran through it today. There were only a couple of real minor edits. So we'll be bringing that, once we finish cleaning that up, we'll bring that to you guys to review and approve the changes that we're recommending. But that was it. Very short meeting, just figuring out dates and how we were going to move forward. But it's off to a start. We're only going to meet 4 times this year instead of the 25 times we met last year. So you won't be hearing from me a lot.
Thank you, Marianne. Okay, so we have tenure, motion to grant tenure. R20, be it resolved that the Board of Education grant tenure to Stephanie Lineberry in the area of elementary teacher effective August 31st, 2025.
Motion.
Any questions? All in favor? Any opposed? Okay. Congratulations. Great teacher. Old business. Do I have to read this whole thing? Okay. R21, be it resolved that the Board of Education approve the district-wide safety plan amendment. Motion? Anyone?
Second.
Questions? All in favor? Any opposed? Okay. New business instruction. R22, be it resolved that the Board of Education adopt the professional development plan as presented at the September 23rd, 2025 board meeting. Do I have a motion? Any questions? All in favor? And any opposed? Okay. New business, business and finance, R23. Be it resolved that the Board of Education approve the agreement with Twin County Recovery Services to provide services for the 25-26 school year and authorize the superintendent to sign the agreement. Do you have a motion? Any questions?
Just want to make a comment that we did this last year as well. This is not really a new agreement, it's just a renewal.
A renewal, yeah. And last year there were some challenges with the services. This year the director is going to be doing, the director itself, who I've worked with for several years, is going to be the person actually doing the services due to some challenges we had last year.
There's no cost.
No cost to the district. This is a grant. So the county has a grant with this agency, and they give this service to every single school in Columbia County.
This is diversion awareness. What is this?
So it's Twin Counties Recovery. So
Yeah.
it's to help support kids and families with addiction problems.
Yeah.
And then they do other mental health support as well within the school district. So anything that would be aligned to addiction. So it could be depression, it could be, many different factors that could be aligned. And we can use it any way we want, right? So it could be by referral. It could be students that,
Oh, it's clinical then.
yeah. It could be students who are using, or maybe have a suspension because they were caught with a vape. And it's something that you have to get parent approval for, but you can make the recommendation and they will come in-house and provide those supports for the kids.
Great.
Also, you can refer it to families, that are struggling, or if a child comes and says that my family member is struggling, we can, again, recommend the service, and they would do that work outside of the school. So there's many, many, many different possibilities. She's actually coming to our next principals meeting to talk about those possibilities, so we can start to have a plan. And we could even have them come once a week if we had the need for it. So it's a good just opportunity to be available as needed. And it's free.
Free to us.
Did we?
That's true, free to us.
Do we have to do any opposed to that one? Or we're good? We're good. Okay. Okay. Consensus agenda. R24, be it resolved that the Board of Education accept the consensus agenda N through P as written. Do we have a motion?
Second.
Any questions? All in favor? Any opposed? Okay. All right, items for future agenda. Anyone have any items?
Debbie, you have to give me the evil eye now.
Uh,
I would love to see the upcoming agenda calendar in future agenda items at the prior meeting so that we can all look at what's coming up at the next meeting.
Presentations?
Yeah, like if we have a question for like the next meeting
Yeah,
so that it's not, so people are prepared.
So you know it's coming.
okay.
Yeah.
Okay. And that's the board calendar, the one that activity calendar.
Yeah, if there's like,
Are you talking about the board activity calendar or the presentation?
oh,
Yeah,
wait, are they
two-
separate documents
we have-
now?
They might be-
Well, we
They're
combined,
They
Combine them
used to
separate,
be
right?
one document.
we combined them in one, so all of the presentations are on the board. So all you really.
It's the
need is-
presentations. It's what's coming up in the presentations and board actions for the next meeting that are calendar items that are,
Maybe it is a hybrid, maybe it's the both.
Yeah,
Because we combine my, and I have it separate so I can send it to
I-
the administrators.
really
That's why we have. two.
just the highlights of the next meeting, I guess.
Yeah, you could just use the board calendar.
The board calendar.
We're planned out for all our presentations, and sometimes we tweak them, obviously, as things come
Mhm.
up. For the most part of that is. Use the one that I shared with you,
Okay.
because when I have changes, I put it on there as we update things. So remind me to show you. what's running.
I should have asked, does anyone else think that's a good idea?
I mean, information's good.
Yeah,
Doesn't hurt.
I would
It's
rather
easier to do
be,
because we have it all-
I would rather be spending 2 minutes talking about what's coming up next meeting than throwing more wood on the bonfire when we get to the items for future agenda.
I think that makes sense. Yeah. All right. Second public comment.
Good evening again. So from tonight's meeting, I just had a couple of items. One thing that concerned me was the student report on possibly fundraising for sprinklers on the soccer field and the football field. In the past, we never had students go out and do fundraising for materials, staffing, et cetera, that the district should be paying for. So again, if they were talking about soccer jackets and football jerseys, I kind of get that. But capital project or capital things, material shouldn't be a student fundraiser. Second, Mr. Wheat's report on the absenteeism, I really appreciated. I want to encourage the district to consider seeking community volunteers. When I was a student here, the retirement rate of the population was about 10 to 15%. Now a third of the population is retirement age. So you have a lot of retired downstate people that have moved up here, professionals, et cetera. There may be a mechanism there to bring in some good thoughts and people that can make some good connections with these students. So that seemed to be one group that maybe was missing a little bit from the group that's discussing this. The other one on that is I'd be interested in hearing about student surveys. So for the students that are missing, what is the feedback that they're giving? That seems like it would be fairly measurable and informative information. And then the last thing is on the clubs. Yeah, it's really exciting news what you're all doing with the activities for the students, particularly the middle school. So same thing, I just want to say $1,930 for a software program to write an evaluation. That money could go a long way on some of those clubs. And the last thing with the Sonico plastics, the original starting of that company was Krellin Plastics by the two Krellin brothers who have both passed. But one of them was Dan Krellin's father, and Dan still lives in our school district. So I know you pay a lot of attention to the community and the roots and the origins. And I would just offer, I think Dan would be really kind of thrilled to be involved and come in and at least talk about how his uncle and his father, didn't just get some big inheritance and get handed something, or it was always Sonico, but this was two young guys putting together a business and employing people that they had grown up around. It'd be a nice, I think, kickoff to consider anyway. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay. So we do have a need for executive session.
Which category?
Student history of a particular person. Where do I?
Yeah, it's not on the printout.
Oh, be it resolved that the Board of Education enter executive session to discuss the medical, financial, credit, or employment history of a particular person or corporation, or matters leading to appointment, employment, promotion, demotion, or removal of a particular person or corporation, and confidential student issue. Need to appoint a district pro.
We'll have motion.
Okay.
Oh, motion. Yep.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay. And now this. Do I have to read all this? Motion to appoint district clerk pro temp. Motion, Andrew Corp.
Motion.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, everyone. Have a good night.